Hey, ladies and gents, Joe here, the man who gets off 1 week of work. Not here at my day job. You know what I mean. Starting tomorrow, 1 week off of work. I'm kind of pumped, and I'm here to talk about UFC 294. And my God, this card sucked. I thought, but a lot of those bad pay-per-views this year. I feel like maybe that's the cynic in me. But so enough talk. Let's get to the fights.
How lucky can one guy be? I kissed her and she kissed me.
Main event, Alexander Volkanovski coming in on 11 days notice to take on Islam Makhachev for the lightweight title. They fought earlier this year in a Fight of the Year masterclass, in my opinion. I personally scored it for Volkanovski. And for Volk, a lot of people, including me, that he was going to come in, put on a potential show-stealing performance. And for Islam, I don't know why I said it like that. For Islam, it's kind of a no-win situation, right? If you win, cool. You got to beat up a guy who had 11 days notice, and you got to duck the guy that was the official backup, that was prepared and had a full training camp for this fight. You know? And if... I'm sorry, moving my vape out of the camera, it bugged me. and if you lose, then you're not champion anymore, and you're, you know, all the doubts we had from that original fight come crawling back tenfold, and you look terrible. So they square off again, and it was a first round finish, head kick finish for Islam Makhachev. He knocked him out with a head kick, swarmed on him, got a TKO. I think that was officially. I heard KO, but it looked like a TKO to me. Won him the night, you know. So good overall for him. And it may not have fully quenched this doubt that kind of lingers around his title reign, despite him beating technically twice, beating the pound-for-pound king. And quick note on that. Volkanovski's still the pound-for-pound king. If you care about that sort of thing, I think he's still the guy. I understand it's a dumb and pretty stupid concept, and purely hypothetical. But I like dumb things sometimes. So I kind of like it. I think it's kind of fun. Because realistically speaking, like, the best guys, historically pound for pound, are usually the lower weight classes because they require much more skill. So it's kind of interesting if you say Volkanovski, and I agree with that take, because I, you know, Mighty Mouse forever, flyweight champ, 10 out of 10 in everything he did for a long time, you know, and GSP, best ever to do it. He was pound for pound king for a while. Jose Aldo, pound for pound king for a while. John Jones was never pound for pound king in my eyes, because cool, you poke dudes in the eyes and take a lot of steroids. It's real pound for pound material for me. I always gotta take a shot at him when I can at him. So co-main event of the evening, Kamaru Usman takes on Khamzat Chimaev. So weird fact about this fight, Dana White was making plans like he's going to give the winner of this fight a shot at middleweight. That's right. Two guys who have yet to fight a top 10 guy at middleweight getting a title shot. Alright, so first round, though, was an absolute monster of a smashing by Khamzat. He gets an early takedown, takes the back, mixing in like hard shots and trying to get a choke when he can. Just pure domination. 10-8 round, I thought, for Khamzat. Second round, though, was not like the first one at all. It was really boring. It was really close and boring. I scored it for Khamzat, but apparently I'm in the minority here. Full disclosure here. I was super distracted because I was so bored, and this card was so bad that I was having trouble caring at this point, honestly. If I didn't have to do the recap, I probably would have been like, you know, I mean, like, I didn't pay for this card, let's be honest. I probably would have been like, all right, I'm going to go do something else. Like, I'll just see what happens, you know. I watched it late anyways. I knew what happened going in. I just knew, like, who won. I didn't know how and why. This card sucked. Just a bad card. Some problems I'll talk about later. Don't worry. Final round was okay. Usman really started to let it go. He's landing well, landing pretty solidly, and then he just kind of stops, which is crazy because Khamzat was super inactive. It's like his engine was in neutral, just kind of wasn't really doing anything, and Usman could have really let more go and kept it up and maybe gotten something huge and crazy and he just like didn't. I kind of attribute it to the 11 days or the potential knee. Who knows? But he didn't. He didn't, and they just kind of coast again. Khamzat ends the fight, really basically him just holding Usman down, but I still scored it for Usman. And I had the fight as a win for Khamzat Chimaev 29-27. I could totally see a draw, though. I understand a lot of people are saying it's a draw. I totally get it. I think it's a draw or Khamzat win. Super close fight, I could kind of understand. Khamzat was clearly the better grappler and wrestler of the two, which is kind of wild when you consider the wrestling acumen, at least in the cage, the MMA wrestling acumen that Usman has made with his legacy and stuff. But at the same time, he is older. He has terrible knees. They might have been compromised coming into this fight in his open workouts. Who knows? Khamzat claims he might have broken his hand in the first round, which, if that is true, that makes sense why he slowed down, wasn't as active, and that means he was compromised as well in this fight. This wasn't an entertaining fight, which I think is a first for Khamzat, to my knowledge. Probably the first non-entertaining Khamzat fight I've seen, and that's kind of normal for Usman. Dude's boring. GSP was boring too, though. And he's the greatest ever. So it's not anyone's fault for being boring. You know what I mean? It's all about winning at the end of the day. Not being an entertainer. You're an athlete to me. Not an entertainer. That's my opinion, at least. And they really give Khamzat a title shot after this, though. That is some massive Dana White privilege right there. Mind-blowing levels of Dana White privilege. Let's just get to the rest of the card because this card sucked. Magomed Ankalaev Johnny Walker was a no contest. I'm going to talk about it. Ikram Aliskerov got a flying knee and then swarmed for a quick TKO finish of Varley Alves. Muin Gafurov he basically just kind of ran at Said Nurmagomedov and just immediately got guillotined for an awful opener. It was just a lame opener because of how short it was. Just like that, Tim Elliott, he was showing off some scrappiness, and I actually had him winning a little bit against Muhammad Makhachev. Then he got tapped with an arm triangle choke. Also, Makhachev totally missed weight. Another thing I'll talk about later. Trevor Peake, he got a unanimous decision win over Muhammad Yahya. Javid Basharat and Victor Henry was a no contest. I'm going to talk about it. Abu Azaitar was pulling hair and lost still. He was legitimately pulling his opponent's hair against Cedric Dumas. Dumas, excuse me. I know I said Dumas because I just read how it's spelled sometimes when I'm in the go, but it's Dumas. Mike Breeden got a big comeback KO win over Anshul Jubli. Muhammad Naimov got to launch some hard low blows for a unanimous decision win on Nathaniel Wood. Victoria Dudagov gave Jinyu Frey her 6th loss in 8 UFC fights. That was a crazy statistic when I saw that. And Shara Magomedov lit up Bruno Silva on the feet for a unanimous decision. So now, for the final bit, we're friends here. We can talk. We're friends. We can talk about just about anything here. It's a safe space if you're into that thing. I'm from the South, it's not really a thing here, but safe space here, brothers and sisters. And I feel that way with you guys, so I'm just going to come out and say it. I think we should just shut down Fight Island. No more pay-per-view cards in Abu Dhabi, and I think we should probably quarantine that island with only the athletic commission there and just let them stay inside while they figure things out. Because seriously, I'm just going to list off people that got screwed by incompetency. Incompetency that's so bad, it makes our normal, terrible athletic commissions look like angels. The ones that involve people who have know nothing about combat sports that now get to be the experts on combat sports. I have a very anti-athletic commission, mostly because their incompetence is so bad. But oh my god, so much worse in this card. Oh, so awful. Victor Henry, Nathaniel Wood, and Johnny Walker all got mega shafted. Victor Henry got kicked so hard low. When I saw the clip, I don't think I'm having kids ever. It was terrible. Millions of I felt like Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars. I always want to say Star Wars 1, but A New Hope, Episode 4. It's my first one. All right, it was the first one I ever watched. I'm not super old, but I'm old. and where Obi-Wan's like, and I just felt like a millions of life just evaporate. I felt that when millions of Victor Henry's kids and grandkids just got obliterated by this low kick. The doctor, he's in horrible pain that makes any man just want to cry and just feeling all this empathy for him. And this doctor has the, ironically enough, the balls to go in his face and go, "You didn't get kicked in the balls. You didn't get kicked in the dick or the balls." Is this a DQ? No, it's a no contest because of this. Nathaniel Wood, he fought a guy with staph. I'm going to talk about it. And then got kicked super hard low. And was it a point taken away or anything? No, because it was clearly affecting him. Was it taken away? No. And he lost the decision for it. He just got a warning for kicking a guy in the balls, which I hate. Don't give warnings for like low blows like that. Low blows and eye pokes, even unintentional, I think you got to take the point, because you can like seriously compromise them for the fight, and it's no longer fair. If I know you're not going to take the point away, me as a cheater, if I was a cheater hypothetically, gonna take that first one for free. Gonna take that first get out of jail free card. Start John Jones and people. John Jones, Czech Congo taking their belts immediately. Yeah, no, didn't. Then there's Johnny Walker. He got hit with an illegal knee from Magomedov. He's fine. He's rearing to go. They're both rearing to go, ready to go. Not the full 5 minutes hasn't been taken, and the doctor calls it off. A coherent fighter. Well, kind of coherent. He's kind of a goofy guy, but a coherent fighter in seriousness. A very coherent guy. Not allowed to fight because the doctor said so. Why? The doctor asked, "What country are you in?" And he said the desert. He said the desert. He said he's in the desert. Hilarious. But that wasn't enough for the doctor. Apparently there's no sense of humor in Abu Dhabi. I found that out today. Now let's talk about the giant staph infection in the room. Multiple fighters have admitted that they fought with staph, and the doctors were either okay with it or they didn't catch it. It sounds like they didn't catch it. So let's list them. Dudakova, Naimov, and Breeden. 3 fighters. Oh my god. Oh my god. Paulo Costa got hit with staph infection and had to pull out of the fight. Staph infection is no joke. It is terrible. If you don't believe me, rest in peace, Kevin Randleman. But at your own discretion, I don't support you doing this. But if you want to look into it, look up Kevin Randleman's staph infection. I don't support you doing it. I'm not telling you should, but you could. I can't stop you. If you don't believe it, maybe look up staph infection. It's disgusting. It's terrible. It's gross. Delete your history afterwards. And we had a staph infection in high school. All the wrestlers had staph infection, and it was terrible. A lot of people were missed a lot of time for it. So I want to know what is going on there. Was it like what caused this outbreak? Is it the conditions there, like at their like performance centers and areas where you can work out and train? Do they not disinfect those? Like, and it made things unsafe? Like, what's going on? Like, I'm not blaming any cultural things here. I hope no one takes it like that. I'm blaming competency here. This isn't a cultural issue. This is an incompetency issue. I had someone, the reason I bring that up is I had someone I knew and I was talking about this stuff. They were like, sounds like that's a cultural thing you're criticizing. No, it's not, idiot. Like, I'm criticizing the incompetency here. I'm heated. I'm heated from this. Was it a... Like, what? I want to know what caused this. This is horrible. Plus, I understand a lot of people felt like the judging was controversial. I already kind of knew what was going in, so I'm a little compromised watching them because I knew who wins and all this. So, yeah, I just say this. No more Abu Dhabi cards for the future. No more pay-per-view Abu Dhabi cards. Maybe none ever. Maybe no fight nights here. I'm okay with it. Also, please, can the UFC card quality improve soon? I feel like I'm going insane with this card quality lately. But that's it for me. I'll be back in November to talk about how Yelton Almeida is going to do a teep kick to a double leg. Probably win the fight against Derek Lewis. And also, if you guys are interested, join our Patreon. You get to request, cool things like a retro review from me. anything you want, I can get my hands on at least. And we're also thinking about uploading some Patreon exclusive content, like maybe a Q&A for me and Carl is something I've been kind of tossing around. I think a Q&A sounds kind of fun. And if you really miss me, I know you do, it's okay. I'm off this week, so I'm probably going to be on Twitch for a good amount of this week. I'll definitely post about it on Twitter. You can always follow my Twitter accounts in the credits. And it's always super cool, and it would be kind of fun. I'm probably going to work on some retro reviews as well this week. So, speaking of that, if you don't want to watch me play random video games and talk a lot of trash about everything on the planet, where you see the real Joe that doesn't have a censor bar of swearing, I'm always the real with you guys, don't worry. And then you guys can go and check out the retro review series on the main channel. Always super cool, fantastic stuff on there. My favorite series to work on, my favorite thing to work on in general, honestly. But I'm Joe with the INC. Thank you so much for watching.